Hi guys. Welcome back to the boardroom. You know me and you know Shakur, but you don't know our guest judge today, who is Prashant Subramanian. And Prashant is the joint managing director of two of Sri Lanka's leading media agencies, Media Factory and Medicine Media. Overall, we think that selling movie tickets or promoting a movie premiere wasn't a great success all round with both teams. So the question is, where were the big ideas today? Team Synergy, you scraped home with 21,000 rupees, you're ahead. But nothing to write home about and nothing to celebrate about tonight. We're looking for more big ideas as you go forward. But you're the winning team, you can leave the boardroom.
Thank you.
Manazza, do you take any credit for the sales that you made, or do you share in the failure of the target that you achieved?
I definitely do share in the failure because it was a team effort, but I do take credit for the fact that I did make a sales contribution of 40% because I calculated the amount of sales that we did yesterday and personally what I have achieved, and it was about, I had sold about 14 customers, 5,300 sales value. It was about 40% of our total sales figure.
And that was you on your own?
It was basically, in terms of me on my own, like, see, we all discussed how we should do our sales pitch, and we all discussed what the promotion should be and how we should basically get on with it. So, yes, I did do it individually because we personally went to different customers and did it, but all of us agreed on what we're going to say, how our sales pitch will be. So it was a team effort, but on my own, I was able to go on to 14 customers, yes.
Pete, what was your contribution?
I came up with the initial idea of doing a prize draw with the sale of each ticket. I then took responsibility for trying to organise that. Managed to negotiate a free meal which was donated by the Hilton Colombo residents. So that was our prize.
So do you think a free meal was something that you could have sold to your target audience of students?
I think it wouldn't put them off, but by the time it was actually confirmed anyway, we realised that students wasn't necessarily our only target audience, because we went to the universities, they didn't have much money on them, they couldn't necessarily even afford the tickets. I mean, for example, you can buy the DVD in a pirate DVD shop around the corner for 80 rupees. So why is a student on a budget going to pay 500, 600, 1,000 to go and watch in a cinema?
Going on to you, Prashant. You knew you had to change your strategy. You had to go away from universities. So you initially went to some private universities, right?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. And then you went to the University of Colombo.
Yes.
Why did you do that?
Well, it was not actually me who went to the other private institutions. It was only Pete and I who went to the University of Colombo. I knew that actually the students in the university did not actually have money to buy such an expensive ticket. My target was actually the high-ranking officials, heads of the department, even the dean or the vice chancellor. It didn't meet my expectations. We then shifted ourselves from the university to other shopping malls, such as the Crescent Boulevard, the WTC, the HSBC, that's one block away from there. And seeing that it was unprofitable, we returned back to the Majestic City.
Tell me something about your visit to Kiss FM.
It was after a search done online and looking for local English radio stations, and it was only Kiss FM who was like giving a positive result.
What did they want to do? They wanted to buy your tickets?
We actually wanted to promote our promotion over their radio, so they agreed to provide us with a shout out, just a shout out, so that we can gather around at Majestic City somewhere around about 2:30 and 4, and we can get a huge crowd between the timeline, and we can directly sell to those buyers.
I made to understand from a task which is where you had 4 hours to complete a task. Your group took approximately 2 hours just for planning. Just want to know, as a team leader, right? One was it's your responsibility to lead that and control it. but also what was the problem and why did you all take such a long time? It's a starting blunder.
Yeah, well, basically, because from the task before, we realised we didn't plan enough. And I think this time we over-planned, but what we really wanted to do was really be creative and find something that's a bit different. I mean, we did manage to get on the radio and Pete managed to get a prize, and we did spend a lot of time researching. But when we realised things weren't pulling through, we thought, you know, we are wasting time now. The other team are out selling and we're still researching. So we did realise that, and I think, I mean, I did say it. I'm not saying they didn't say let's go, but we were still, I don't know, we felt we were still being creative and still researching things. So we thought something might come through that would put us a step ahead. So.
Okay, in terms of research, you did have an expert at your disposal, but you all did not use that expert to get a benchmark of where you should be aiming, what had been done previously.
Well, we did ask him. He basically kind of put us in the direction of sponsorship. So we were trying really hard getting in contact with marketing managers for Pizza Hut. There was another Harper's Pizza. We did really. That's where we were really. That's why it took us so long, because we thought he's saying sponsorship, so maybe that's one route we should go down, because it's obviously from a professional. So that's what took so long. That took what we wasted the 2 hours doing. I don't know if we wasted it, but we really spent 2 hours trying to get something a bit positive.
Why did you choose Pizza Hut?
Well, we
Or
thought
Harper's
it's
Pizza?
a kind of food that attracts everyone. And I'd seen, so most of us had seen the trailer for the film, and then you also Googled it, and I knew that we knew it was kind of our age and students and young, mainly young guys. So we thought Pizza Hut would attract that kind of age group.
But if you had done your research, you would have understood who had sponsored these type of premier tickets prior to this, and you would have seen that Pizza Hut was not one of those clients who had previously come on board. So obviously, in terms of your research, you did not go further in terms of your asking him.
We said to quite a few brands we're prepared to wear maybe T-shirts with your logo on. We said you'd get on the TV by doing this. It would maybe even get on the radio, which we were trying as well. But together as a team, we really tried to be creative on this task, and we really planned, to be fair. And basically, we didn't have enough time. There wasn't enough hours in the day to do all that. So that's why we lost 2 hours of sales.
Okay, just one last question for you. In terms of how your team actually went around implementing stuff, were you in control of the whole process?
Well, before that, we didn't know if whether universities was going to work or not. So basically, we set up a meeting with Kiss FM just around the corner, so we knew we weren't going to be that long. I basically said, go and try the university, see how it works, and it didn't work for them, so they did actually move on. I mean, I wasn't there, so I can't say stay there or go. As a group, they did decide to move on as it wasn't working, and then, so, I mean, we were trying to set up we had a meeting with Kiss FM, so we got really, you know, we achieved quite a lot for that in that time. We really wanted to do something a bit different, and we thought, it may work. We may make more sales from this.
David, what do you think went wrong?
I think splitting up in the afternoon was quite a big mistake looking back, particularly as I think we tried like the universities. We probably could have rung up a bit, find out a bit more information. It had not worked for us sort of like in the morning.
Okay, so David, in these group meetings, I'm just curious, what exactly has your contribution been in terms of ideas?
My initial idea was to target businesses, to go to sort of like offices, that type of thing. So I thought people that have money to spend. It was basically to look for people that had money on them. So I had an idea of going around the mall, asking the shops. They were obviously going to be in there until next Friday, and also to ring the radio station. That was my idea as well, to get on the radio.
It's just about how you document it, and but if you have gone the sponsorship route, that is one of the strongest routes you could have taken. So I just think there was something in your sales pitch that was lacking, where they basically wanted more confirmation. You had strong properties in that you had RTV behind you, a lot of brand familiarity that could have been utilized to your advantage. I'm not sure whether you'll utilize that to its maximum potential.
So Team Enterprise Alliance, you've heard the views of our experts. You've shared your ideas with us. For some reason, they're not all working, and we need now to decide why they're not working. And we're going to take a few minutes, so we'll ask you to leave the boardroom. So, what's the surprised me talking to them was the fact that actually they did have ideas. They did call the radio, they did try and get sponsorship through Hilton, etc. They weren't great ideas and they didn't work and they didn't really come through. But they certainly had the ideas. And I was a bit surprised by that. They're a bit more creative than I gave them credit for originally.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that the issue for me was that the biggest stumbling block starts off with the fact that they spent a lot of time for analysis, and that analysis almost led them into a state of paralysis where they had a lot of ideas, but they hadn't prioritized what ideas to go after. And Abby, as the leader, I felt should have prioritized that better. But also, the point is that she's playing careful based on past experience. As a leader, she probably failed in a leadership role. But then there are a few other interesting characters like David, who's in the background, he's playing the game well, but not really coming forward and taking responsibility for anything.
And we were worried about him even
in the last episode as well.
Yeah, because we felt exactly that he's kind of in the background. He's not playing a great contribution. He's not screwing up.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the other flip side of all this is about a hard sell anyway. Basically, Person and Pete didn't actually achieve a lot.
Yeah,
But if I look at the list of people, I say, Manaza led on sales. Pashan got into Kiss FM. He got into Columbia University. I mean, maybe it was a mistake, but he did get the team in there. Abby's putting it all together. Pete, you're saying he's got ideas and the Hilton idea, etc. David, I still don't know. I still don't know what he's bringing to it.
David, my choice is between David and Prashant.
Who are you going to go for?
Probably David.
go with David as well.
I'll go with David. So tonight we'd like David and Peshan just to step forward. We actually thought as a team you had a few more ideas than we'd realised and we'd given you credit for. So the ideas were there and you're quite a creative team, but they weren't working. And your planning and management were poor. Your sales were very low. And David and Peshan, you had the lowest sales. You think 7 tickets, 4 tickets, something negligible in both cases. So we looked at both of you, and Peshan, you're clearly taking risks. Some of them don't work out. Columbia University, maybe it was a bad idea, but you got into Columbia University and you got that done. You got into Kiss FM, didn't really work out, but you're taking the risk and you're taking the initiative. David, I'm not quite sure what kind of game you're playing. You're not taking any risks, so you're not screwing up. So you're playing the organisational game well, but you're not really coming forward as a leader. So tonight, David, you're eliminated. We ask you to leave the board.
Okay, guys, just a final word. I think you guys are a good team. Your planning's good. A lot of good ideas, but it takes time to pay a lot more attention to implementation and prioritizing ideas. If you don't get that right, there's no point in having great ideas and plans. I wish you all the best for the future and coming weeks. Thank you.
As a team, I think we did sort of like okay. We never actually got assigned any particular roles, so I mean, you know, kind of like leaves it open to you to go and do what you can. I just don't think we were as a team doing too well. I've gone because I'm not. I guess they've singled me out as not trying to take risks, but I think several of the ideas were my ideas. I wasn't really listened to. And when you're not the leader, and you're not in charge of the task, then you know your decisions really doesn't really matter.
If you could do it again, what would you change?
If I could do it again, about the whole task, sort of like right from the start, I'd have definitely kept everyone together and just started selling much quicker. I'd have tried to push the sponsorship in association with the radio, which is what I tried to do to start with. My idea to go to radio station, but I never got to go.